ahead and make sure Twitch is muted, send out the tweets and the discords. Got like everything now. I really should write some sort of automation script for all of this. I have like 5 things that I have to do every time I stream. In any case, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is January 6th, and this is the January 6th TextQuest Devstream. So, today, it's Saturday, which means we're going to be working more on our custom game stuff. Specifically, we're going to be setting up to start custom game. How to phrase this? Custom game item notations. Basically, whenever last week we set up items in custom games, so now you have both interactions, which are things like tables, chairs, fire, whatever have you, and then items, things that you can actually pick up and take into your inventory. And this week we need to expand on that by basically having set descriptions for items that you have not picked up in a room yet. So the way things work right now, we'll go ahead and show you. Let's go to extras, author mode, create. Let's go to Zork. So if I test my game, I have 2 items in the, I have 2 interactions in the first room, 1 object and 1 item. Now, the way this is set up is basically every interaction in a room gets listed at the bottom underneath this UC line. But we probably don't actually want that to be the case, because that means, every time you walk into a room, if there's anything you can interact with, you'll just have this massive list here that says UC, a door, an item, an orange, an axe, whatever have you. So we actually want to change that. So instead, you'll get something like this. You are standing in a rustic living room. In front of you lies a door. On the floor, you see an item. And then once you pick up the item, the description would change to say you are standing in a rustic living room. In front of you, you see a door, and then nothing after that. And now, if you drop an item into this room after you pick it up, it wouldn't go back to saying, you're standing in a rustic living room. In front of you is a door, on the floor you see an item. Instead of that, you would get the first 2 parts. So you were standing in the rustic living room, which is the base description for the room. You would see the notation for the door. In front of you is a door, and then we would actually get this UC an item. So the reason I want to do that is because this will allow us to differentiate between items that are already in the room by default, and then items that you have dropped in the room. So basically, the UC will pop up as a reminder of things that you've dropped in the room that weren't part of that room to begin with. And even if you drop something that was in the room that you picked up, if you drop that back into that room, it won't go back to its original description. Instead, it will say, it'll just list it down here. And of course, we'll eventually have to expose this UC so that you can change whatever that output is for your own custom game. That way you don't just get beaten into using this UC stuff. So let's go ahead, and I think we can just go south to win. Yeah. So we're going to go to our start room. We're going to go to interactions. So you can see here that we have 2 types of interactions. We have a door and an item. The item is an item, as you can tell by its solid square, and then the door is this file icon, lets you know that it's a basic interaction. Now, this is actually kind of nice because for a while I had no idea what I was going to put over here, and now I do. Although it's still going to be a little odd. So this will be our list of interactions, and then this over here is going to be our list of descriptions for them, or notations. I don't know what term to use there. So basically, for every interaction that you have, and also this is going to be kind of weird, since we're going to have 2 lists, but I want them to scroll at the same time, so I might actually do a little bit of trickery to make this all one big thing, and, well... Yeah, that's probably what we're going to have to do. So let's go ahead. So I can't, the reason that I'm planning on putting it here in the room is because 1, this description is really only, used in the room that the item or interaction is originally found in. And 2, I don't really have a good spot for it in the interaction menu itself. I mean, I could maybe put it here, but it doesn't really make sense for that to be the case. Although I probably could get rid of this delete this object stuff. Plus, this actually affects the item itself, and if you have multiple items or multiple of the same item, I want you to be able to have different descriptors. So if I have let's say I have an axe item, and then that axe is the same. There are 3 axes in the game. They're all the exact same item, just in 3 different rooms for the game. Then I wouldn't want to have to, come up with 3 unique axes. Instead, I would just like to have the one axe that you can then place in different rooms. And so and so. It's a long chain of events to try and make things a little bit more simple to use. In any case, let's go ahead and stop playing. Go over here. Let's see. So we're going to go to our interactions. I forget what I do exactly here. On interactions, click, go to definition. Okay, so we do have an interactions menu. That's good. Let's go up here, custom room interaction menu, go to definition. This over. Okay. Now, how to set this up? We're going to need some buttons, I think. It's going to be similar to this interaction button stuff, except it's going to pop up a little modal that then you can edit. So we're going to have a custom modal then. Or I might be able to make it an input field and get away with that. It'll be a little awkward to read, I think. So that's not ideal. But we might be able to do some fancy UI stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and hop back in here. We will open up our UI. Just drag this into here. Let's go over to our submenus. We want interactions. All right. F here. All right, so we have a few things that we want to do here, which is first up, let's see how we have handled this. So the idea that I have here is that I would like to have the interactions listed over here, then their descriptions listed over here. But to make that work, I need to make sure that when you scroll over here, it sets the scroll bar on the right and vice versa. So I'm probably actually going to have... Jeez, this is going to be super awkward. I could have 2 different lists, or 2 different scroll areas, and then I force them to sync. Ugh, that's going to be interesting. I think we can do that. It's just going to be weird. So let's go ahead and let's see, room interactions. Is that just the half? Nope, that's the actual. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this. We're going to duplicate this interactions list, and it's going to be scaled to 111, and start from 0.5 to 1. Okay. I guess we're going to have 10 from the left, and 10 from the right, then 20 from the right, and 0 from the bottom. Okay, 1, then 0 from the bottom. All right. So we don't need this new interaction button, which kind of makes us have this awkward space here. I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. I mean, I could move this add interaction button to stretch across the entirety of that. I don't know if that would be great, really. Let's go ahead and call these description. Description is just not a good term. List descriptions? No. Basically, I mean, I want a kind of description. How about, no, not descriptors either. Flavor text. Yeah, this is definitely something that needs to be. I need some sort of label describing this, or tooltips, because this means nothing. Flavor text means absolutely nothing here. So, oof. Go to flavor text list. scroll view. Oops, hold on. Flavor text grid. All right, let's go ahead and go up here real quick. So we're gonna want to say pretty much the same thing we were doing here. So we're gonna say public scroll rect flavor text scroll rect. We're gonna come down here, public rect transform flavor text grid, and let's see. What else do we need here? Flavor text grid, interactions grid. I guess that's good enough. We are going to need to come down here and start, or wake. That works too. So let's see. Interactions. Scroll rect. Tell me this has an on value. It does. Hooray! Okay. I'm going to assume .add listener that this is vector 2. Yep. Aha! Okay. So basically what happens is whenever one of the scrolls or the scroll areas changes, I need to make sure the other one does as well. Okay. So areas changes, I need to make, sorry. Let's see here. So I need to add, let's go ahead and go down here, private void on interaction scroll changed. Yeah, I guess that's about as good as I can get. Vector 2 value. Say on interaction scroll changed. All right. So for this, we're going to go ahead and say flavor text scroll rect dot. So this is where it gets kind of weird because I think, well, I guess it's not normal. Can I just say position? So I have a normalized position. Is that what I want it to be? I mean, that would make sense. This value. Pretty much going to duplicate that. Do it again down here. And I'm going to say on flavor text will change, and this will change to interactions scroll rect. There we go. Go ahead and copy this. Paste that. Copy that. Paste that in. All right. That should take care of that. We are going to go ahead and need a new prefab type, I think. Go ahead. Okay. So I guess as a quick test case for this, I think we're going to want let's see here. Actually, let's go up here to room interactions. And we have our flavor text grid. We have our flavor text scroll view. Let's see, room interaction button. You have a layout element. Okay, so it's only a min size of 50. That's fine. Let's go ahead and copy that. We're going to go ahead and add a new object here. Paste component is new. We'll make this hello effects. Wait, I feel like I didn't get that right. Dang it, we went over this. Crap. Sorry. I feel terrible about that. Either way, welcome back. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. We'll see how the Devstream goes today. In a pretty good mood though, since we're starting from a pretty strong point. So today we're going to be starting off by adding flavor text to items or interactions in custom game rooms. So when you walk into a room with an axe, it's not just going to say you see an axe. It's going to say like, you're in a dungeon. On the wall is a bloody axe. just so we can give a little bit more of a flavor text to each object. Okay, let's go ahead and assign a new name to this. We're going to call this. Um, how about interaction? Oh, geez, that's nope. Flavor text field. Eh. Um, seems like a good name. Let's go ahead and add real quick a. Where are you? UI. TextMesh Pro input field. And let's see, we're going to change some of this. Actually, we're going to change a lot of this. Let's see, 8-bit font. That's all good. Font size. I think we're going to want to actually stretch this out. Hold on. Let's go ahead and have this stretch out to be the entirety of this. Make sure that our placeholder is not. Oh, wait. No. Make sure that placeholder isn't skewed like that. And let's see, what else do we want to do? We're also going to do this because I keep forgetting that I have this capability. And let's see, so we want our placeholder to be, let's see, an item. Well, should I really have flavor or a placeholder for this? I mean, I guess I don't really need it, but I probably should have something here. It's fine for now. We'll just leave it as the default placeholder text. We will go ahead and increase this font size, though, to 24. This is going to be really cramped. Oh, but then again, actually, we're going to do something special whenever I do this. Okay, so I'm going to rename this to our input field. You work with Unity Collaborate. Yes, I have that for TextQuest. It's so-so. It's much easier. It's easier for me since I'm the only one working on this project, but I actually feel like there would have been a few times in the past where that would have been a problem. I think they've worked out more of the kinks since I last complained about this, but in the past I had situations where certain objects just weren't detected as changed, even though I had changed them significantly. So when I would pull down this project on my laptop, it would just be broken, and that obviously led to problems. It's a lot better now, I think. It's not nearly as error prone as it used to be, but I would still say that I kind of prefer things like Git, GitHub, or SourceTree, or well, I guess GitHub, yeah, it's not really an interface. SourceTree, or at work we use something called Plastic. I think they're just a little bit easier to work with. Plus, you don't have to open the project to do stuff with with things like SourceTree. But obviously, Unity Collaborate is baked into Unity, so you have to open the project to do stuff with it, which is kind of annoying. I mean, it's not terrible, but I definitely have my gripes. Anyway, so we want we're gonna have to make a new script for this. First up, let's go ahead and go down here. Of course, it's a button, so I didn't give it the script field because I'm dumb. Let's go ahead and go over here. Okay, so we want, well, fine, interaction button. Where are you? Okay, interaction button. Let's go ahead and describe this as interaction flavor text field. Ugh, what a name. That is definitely not a very good name. But I suppose we'll make do with it. Yeah. What version control do you use? Or if you have a preference, I honestly don't know. Some people use multiple ones, like I do. I think I regularly, well, right now I think I use 3 different versions. I use Collaborate, SourceTree, and Plastic. Each one is used for very specific purposes, but they all have their strengths and weaknesses, I suppose. Let's go ahead and make this for TextQuest. We'll also go ahead and say using TM Pro and I think we're also going to go ahead and say using system.collections. We're going to do some tweening whenever you select the field, so this is going to be fun. Oh, well, there you go. So what are you, I guess what's the workflow like for Unity together? Let's see here. So we're going to go ahead and say public tmp underscore input field. So that's going to be our input field. In addition to that, we are going to go ahead and say public layout element. Oh, right. Hold on. Using Unity Engine. Oh, I spelled using wrong. Using Unity Engine.ui. So we're going to go ahead and say layout element. We're going to go ahead and call that layout element. Okay. So, I think that's pretty much all we're going to need for this by default. Let's go ahead and say private void start. We're not going to do it on awake because that could do weird stuff for UI. I really hope I can get this event. Input field dot. Oh yes, we have on deselect, and that means we have on select, right? Yes. Haha, good. So this is going to be fun. So the way we're going to set this up, because our UI for this is, hold on, let me save that. So our UI here is kind of cramped, and that means that you couldn't really enter anything super long. So what I'm going to do is when you select a field, it's actually going to expand it by 3, I think. So it'll go from this height to probably being about that long. So you get a little bit more edit room, and then when you deselect it, it's going to shrink back. Be nice. Okay. Big difference between Unity's collab tool and mine is that I can sync all changes in real time. Nice. Yeah, I think I remember you talking about this actually. I guess so. Does that mean that you don't really lock files then? So you don't have like the concept of checking it out so that no one else can edit it because they're just getting those updates in real time? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and say private void on input selected. Private void on input deselected. Wow, I spelled that wrong. Deselected. There we go. All right, so we're gonna say input field dot on select dot add listener. Wait, what? It takes a string? That's super weird. On input selected. That's fine. String value. That's really weird. I don't know why it takes a string, but whatever. Then we're gonna go ahead and copy that, paste it in. Say on deselect. On input deselected. Okay. Next we are going to want. This is going to be kind of weird. Let's see. We're going to say private float. We'll just call it lerp is equal to 0f. Okay. We'll also go ahead and say public void initialize. Let's go ahead and say it's going to take a string for a value. And then we're going to go ahead and say input field. That didn't work out. Input field dot text is equal to value. And oh crap, we're going to need also. So I have 3 events going on for my input field. Private void or void on input edited string value. Save that. Say input field dot on end edit dot add listener on input edited. All right. Let's see. Yes, but I have to add some other stuff because not everybody has got a good internet connection for sending large data. Have you seen worked with the new Unity tile map system? I've seen it. I have not used it. I haven't had a real chance or reason to use the tool set or the 2D tools that they recently did. I remember seeing it 2 years ago in Boston when they were first talking about their new tile map stuff, and they have really cool stuff in it. But I haven't had a chance to work with it yet. Um, is it fun? I assume it's fun. It looks really fun. Okay, so we're gonna have some coroutines here. Private void. Oh, not void. IEnumerator. Um, expand coroutine, I guess. Let's see. We're also gonna go ahead and have public float. Go ahead and say expand duration is equal to 1f and public float. You know what? We'll just make that one thing. Tooltip. Let's see. Duration for field to expand slash collapse. Okay, let's see. So for this, we're going to want to go ahead and say float t is equal to 0f, while t is less than 1f, t plus equals time dot delta time, divided by duration, then yield return null. We'll go ahead and say layout element dot min height is equal to right that. Okay, give me a second here. Let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and say public vector 2 height range. Well, height range is equal to new vector 2, we'll say 50f to 150f. I don't remember if I have this as my thing or not. So using sleepyowl.common, I have a range. I have a min-max range, but I don't remember if that takes... Yes, I think this is what I have. So we're going to say a min-max, or min range of 50f, and a max range of 150f. And I'm like 90% sure that this is going to take an actual, find out references. Let's see if I'm correct or not. Wait, are you serious? Wait, how is something... Oh, right. Duh. Because of this. Find all references. There we go. Attribute drawer. Is it a vector 2? Let's see. Yep. Good. Making sure that it was a vector 2 that it expected there. I really should comment that. Let's see. So we should be able to actually just go ahead and save that. I'm going to let this compile in a second there. Is equal to mathf.lerp between... let's see here. What's it going to be? Between... What is it? Height range? Height range.x, then height range.y based on lerp. Okay, we're actually going to go ahead and also change these to lerp is equal to that. We'll do this. Set this to the end. Lerp is equal to 1f. And then finally, is equal to height range dot y. Okay, let's let that compile. It's really cool, but all important methods fields are internal. I had to create a real-time tile map system for my 2D game project. Wow, a real-time. Oh, so like users or players can make their own tile systems. Well, tile maps at runtime. That's pretty cool. Also, I don't. That's kind of annoying that they would lock some of their stuff or a lot of their stuff behind internal methods. which they tend to do a lot, actually, and that always annoys me whenever I'm digging into Unity functionality. Is that more than a couple of their functions are marked as internal for no reason? It seems like they just wanted to do it like that, and it always bugs me when they do so. So let's see, we're gonna have a text field. Let's see. So we have this is our layout element. Here's our actual input field, and haha. Okay, good. I'm gonna say I thought that I had this. All right, so I think that's a pretty good range. For height, our expand duration will be 1. That's fine. That's pretty much all we need to do there. And let's go ahead and let's collapse that. Let's make this a prefab. Let's see, room interaction button. Okay, let's go ahead and do flavor text field. Let's delete that. We'll go ahead and put that up here. And we need to add a field for that. Okay, so we're going to go up here. Public flavor text. Wait, okay, yeah, interaction flavor text field. And we'll say interaction flavor text prefab. Again, terrible naming. These are way too long. And let's go ahead and go over here, finish up our actual expand coroutine. Okay, so that's good. Let's go ahead and do the opposite of this. So we're going to copy this, move this to collapse coroutine. We're going to set lerp is equal to, oh, right. So actually we don't want lerp to be set to 0 or 1 initially. Instead, they should just do whatever they were set to originally. That way, if you interrupt it by deselecting it while it's expanding or vice versa, it'll behave itself correctly. It won't snap to its final position and then go backwards. Okay, so we're going to say while lerp is greater than 0, then minus equals time.delta time. Let's see. That should be correct. We're going to set lerp is equal to 0 f again, min height is equal to x there. Okay, so that should work. Let's see. So on input selected, we're going to go ahead and say stop all coroutines. Then we're going to say start coroutine, expand coroutine, oh, not expand duration. Expand coroutine. There we go. Let's go ahead and copy this. Paste this in. This is going to be our collapse coroutine. And on input edited, this is where things get weird because I don't quite know what to do about this really. Besides, I guess, making an event for it. So, not the end of the world. Let's go ahead and say public delegate void flavor text event. It's going to take a string value. So I'm going to say public event flavor text event on flavor text changed is equal to delegate. Get that. All right. So on input edited, we're going to say on flavor text changed value. So not going to do anything super crazy there. Let's see. And then initialize, we're going to go ahead and do pretty much on input deselected with nothing. Because we want it to basically just collapse. Okay. That should be all we really need from this. Let's go ahead and let that compile. Yeah, that's really annoying, but I have a wrapper for that Unity helper, which has all Unity classes in it without the internal attribute, and the assembly can refresh itself after each Unity update. Nice. Sorry, my text gets longer. Oh, don't worry about it. I enjoy chatting. I much prefer chatting than, having people stay quiet in the chat. It's much more interesting if people actually talk. All right. So, let's see. We have this set up now. I think all we really need to do now is generate our our actual values and then save them in relation to the room. So we need to go back to custom room interaction menu. And let's see here. Refresh info, clear interactions. Okay, so we need to have some clear flavor text and generate flavor text. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and say private void clear flavor text. Private void generate flavor text. Then, in that we're going to go ahead and say, obviously, clear flavor text. Always clear before you generate stuff. We're going to have a list here, so private list interaction flavor text field. Flavor text fields is equal to new, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see. The next thing I know I need to do is I need to go to my room info, I believe. I need to go to my room info class and add public list string interaction interactions flavor text. Yeah, that seems right. Is equal to new list string. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to, however many interactions we have, we will always have that many flavor text entries. Even if you don't want an item to have flavor text, all that means is that you'll leave its flavor text blank, and then when it gets added on the end of the room description, it will just be nothing because it's blank. Okay, so how about, let's see here. We're going to need a few things. First and foremost, we need to go over here and add some a new const. So public const string room underscore interaction flavor text. I really wish I had a better name than that. Let's see. Flavor text. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back here. We're going to need, so this is from JSON. We're pretty much going to do the same thing. We're going to have another JSON array. Room flavor text is equal to JSON.getArray custom content utility dot room interactions flavor text followed by new JSON array. And for int I equals 0. Wow, all the spacing was off on that. For int I equals 0, I is less than room. Oh, right. Flavor text dot length I plus plus. And let's see. Aha! I have a thing for this. Let's see if I can remember it. Was that right? Aha! Oh, I guess that's not really an explanation of it. That's just kind of the backstory. Sorry, I always get super excited whenever I get the chance to use the bot. Let's see. So the actual idea for the game spun out of a joke that we had in a student game group that I was in college. Because we had really good artists, but we had very few artists compared to every other position. So we always said, well, what game can we make that doesn't require a lot of artists? And oh, hold on, interactions. Oh, right. Interactions flavor text. And so we always joked, well, text-based adventures because those don't really require art. So after a couple of years of joking about that, I let's see, flavor text dot get string value at index. Sorry, I was going through this. So after a couple of years, I actually wanted to try it out. I talked with a few of my coworkers over lunch on a Friday night or on a Friday afternoon. We hashed out an idea for a fully 3D game that was all text everywhere, because originally my idea was going to be 2D. And then I went home that weekend and I game jammed a prototype to present to the group on Monday. because that was our pitch day. So I had this really crappy little like 2-minute demo that's all hardwired, including capitalization. But it started out, it said type start to play. Um, it dumped you into a room with wood paneling that said wood, 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 brick walls that said brick, and then ceilings that said tile. There was a small puzzle to open a door, to go outside, get a sword, then go back into the room and cut a piece of rug to go into a hole. When you got into the hole, it just dumped you into a room with a bunch of spiders that were animated that weren't actually doing anything. But it showed all of the aesthetics, how NPCs could be text, how textures could be text, how the parser system would work. It was a fun time, and pretty much as soon as I put that up on the screen, everyone was like super happy and excited to see it because it was a really weird idea that does not work on paper. It is something that only works in execution. I really got to do better at multitasking because whenever I start explaining things, I tend to stop working. I got to learn how to talk and do things at the same time. In any case, so that's kind of the crash course in how the idea came about and how it became the game that it is today. But yeah, it came out of a joke, and it's still kind of a joke. I try to approach it with a sense of humor because everything's naturally silly. But I just want to see how far I can take it. So let's see. So this is going to be for flavor text count greater than 0. Go ahead and say json.add custom content utility dot room underscore interactions flavor text new JSON array based off of flavor text. There we go. Simple as that. All right, so that should take care of saving the information. Now, as far as actually generating it goes, we have a couple of things that we need to do. Okay. This is going to be a little awkward. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. So there are a couple of ways that I can approach this. The quickest and easiest way to do this would be basically to just have a second list that is that uses the same index values as the interactions list. And keep in mind that when I say interactions, let me go ahead and pull up my file for this. Build, TextWest, custom. So this is what a save file looks like for a custom game. Obviously, it's massive because there's a ton of information that it needs to contain. But this is the part that we're looking at right now. As soon as I find it, here we are. So we have this list or this array of interactions, and those are just int values. Those are the int IDs for the interactions. So we would basically do this again. We would have another array, but instead of integers, it would be strings. And then we would use the same index value to basically match them up. So whatever the first index here, an index 0 for 13 is, then my list of flavor text would be the same at 0 as well. Or rather, the flavor text at 0 would be used for the flavor text of 0 in interactions. So that works. It's fast. The only problem is that it's kind of brittle, in the sense that if something goes wrong and a bit of flavor text doesn't get cleared out properly, then things will break. However, the alternative is a lot more effort for not a ton more gain. It makes it more resilient. I could basically, instead of having just a list of strings, I could have a list of JSON objects that have an int ID that matches up to these interactions, and then a string value. That would ensure that I always have the correct value, regardless of the actual indexes. But the problem is that for presentation purposes, I still need them to be indexed the same anyway. So, I guess that's not really that much of a problem then. Let's try this. We'll try it as just using indexes for to get the correct values. We're not going to try to make it a little bit more rigid. Well, not rigid. That'd be more flexible technically. We're not going to overcomplicate it. we're gonna try to do this in a quick way to make sure that it's not too crazy, really. Okay. In any case, let's go ahead and go up here. Am I doing anything particular really crazy here? Oh, yeah, I probably should. So we want to remove event listeners thing here. Let's go ahead and go over here. We're going to go ahead and have a public void remove event listeners. And all we're going to do for that is say on flavor text change dot. Can I clear it? I don't think I ever have done that. No. All right. So he's equal to delegate. There we go. So that'll blow away anything actually listening to it. Let's go ahead and go back up here. So we're going to go ahead and pretty much do this exact thing. Let's go ahead and copy that. Paste that here. We're going to change this to interaction. We'll say flavor text. Flavor text fields. Account. Okay, so all of that should be good. And then flavor text fields dot clear. Okay, nice and simple. Pretty much going to do the same thing here. Except here's where things get kind of awkward. If so, this should not be a situation that ever happens in the future. It is a situation that will happen now because I'm adding the mechanic and it didn't exist before. But if there's ever a mismatch in the amount of interactions versus flavor text, I need a way to try and match them up as best as I can. Which I guess just means that I'm going to have to just append empty ones onto the end. So, yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and I think we're going to... we'll just do it from scratch. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than current room dot interactions flavor text dot count I plus plus. That's pretty much all I'm doing there, right? Yep. All right. Okay, so we don't have anything really crazy that I have to do here, which is nice. So instead, we're going to go ahead and say, oh, actually, you know what? What to do in this case? We're going to go ahead and say if current room dot interactions dot count does not equal current room dot interactions flavor text dot count. So if they're not going to do that, then I guess we're going to we'll trim any extra ones off of flavor text and then add any ones that need to be added to it as well. So we'll say if current room dot interactions dot count is greater than current room dot interactions flavor text dot count. So if there are more interactions than there is flavor text, then we're going to do this. So for int I equals 0, I is less than this. So minus that. I plus plus. Wow, that did not go well. Then we're just going to say, geez, I cannot type today. There we go. Then we're going to go ahead and say current room dot interactions flavor text dot add nothing. Just going to be empty. That should be all I need for that. Then we're going to say else is pretty much going to be the opposite. So we're going to say is equal to current room dot interactions flavor text dot count minus 1 as long as I is greater than interactions dot count. Then we will do I minus minus. So we're going to say remove at I. Okay. I believe that's what we want to do. Right? No, this should be minus 1. There we go. See, is there a mirror in the game? There's not one right now. I do have a segment planned for that, though. I do want to have a. It's going to be like an old school trick. It's not going to be an actual screen space reflection. Instead, I'm going to pull a Super Mario 64 and just have a mirrored image of you. Uh, except it's a puzzle, so I guess I shouldn't tell you everything about it. But it's going to be, yeah. There will be a mirror in the game, at least as far as I have planned. There will be one. Um, okay, so this should ensure that. Let's go ahead and comment that. Make sure the interaction and flavor text counts match. Okay, then for each one of those, we're going to go ahead and just generate a new field for it. So we're going to say, what did I call it? Interaction flavor text field. Field is equal to pool manager dot request based off of the flavor text prefab. That's going to go to the flavor text grid. And from there, I probably want to make sure I get my event listeners signed up, and I need to populate it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and say flavor text fields dot add field, and then in front of that, we're going to say field dot on flavor text changed plus equals null for now, but I will need to add that. And finally, we're going to go ahead and say field dot initialize based on current room dot interactions flavor text of I. Oh, there we go. We'll also go ahead and assign that here. And okay, so now I need on interaction delete, on add interactions clicked. Okay, so right about here, we're going to go ahead and say private void on flavor text changed. Oh crap, that's not good enough for a string. We actually need it to be a value. Oh, geez. Huh. Okay, give me a second here. We have a potential problem. So my flavor text here doesn't, it just sends a value, but it has no way of knowing what its value is. So, oh, okay, no, I know what I can do there. Right, so this is going to be a delegate. So delegate that takes a string and oh right, name that. So value. So we're going to say on flavor text changed, and then that will pass I and then value. Okay. This is also going to have to change to take an int index followed by string value. Okay, we need to, of course, declare int index is equal to I here, otherwise my event listener will not work properly. Okay, that should be all I need to do. And for this, we're just going to go ahead and say current room dot interactions flavor text of index is equal to value. All right. So let's go ahead. We should be able to test this now, I think. I think everything will populate correctly, and I think it should all be set up properly. So let's apply our changes to this UI and give it a test. Oh, good. Of course. I just realized that there's a... Okay. So first things first, let's go ahead and get rid of, turn you off, okay, turn you off, hit apply here. We're going to go ahead and turn off our UI entirely, hit save, and everything should work. I'm pretty sure anyway. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Okay. extras, author mode, create, Zork. And we want to go to our map, our starting room, our interactions. Yeah, you didn't do anything. Why didn't you do anything? Well, that's not good. We got nothing. Shame. Oh, duh. It's because I didn't tell it to actually populate that. Okay. Because I was stupid there. So on generate interactions, at the end of that, we'll go ahead and say generate flavor text, right? Because I don't really see a reason to, yeah. Especially since this is being done through callback, so I should always have that. All right. So something else that I do need to do here is when an interaction is deleted, we need to make sure that we also remove its flavor text. So we're going to go ahead and say current room dot flavor text dot remove at delete index. So that should be good. And we pretty much want the exact same thing when we add it. So when we add the actual what? Hold on. Okay. Let's go ahead and here. Oh crap! I also just realized that this means you can't have multiples of the same object in the scene. Then I guess that makes some sense. Current room dot interact. Oh, yeah, interaction flavor text dot add. Empty. I guess it's not gonna have anything. And same thing here. Okay. That should be good then. So let's go ahead and let that compile now. And then take a drink. So the main reason I'm doing all of this, by the way, is because I don't want to have really obvious you see X at the bottom of the screen the first time you go into a room. I would like it to feel a little bit more, I guess, immersive, for lack of a better term. So instead of having you enter a bedroom, you see a diary. Instead, you would get something like, you enter a bedroom. On the table or on a table is a diary. Like that just feels a lot better to me, and I feel like people will prefer to have that as opposed to just being told that they see stuff. Let's go to Zork. Okay, map, start room, interactions. Okay, we got sort of there. I must have generated that incorrectly then, so let's go back up here. Let's see. So interactions.count minus. So that should have been 2 minus 0, which would have been 2. So why didn't this add 2? That's weird. Okay. Well, at the very least, we should be able to load this. So yeah, you can see that it's only added 1. That's interesting. Why did it only add the 1? Current room.interactions.count, which should be 2, minus current room.interactions flavor text.count, which should be 1 in this case, if we load it again. So I equals 0. Yeah, I mean that. Okay, let's try that again. See if it fixes itself. Let's It's not exactly a great sign. Again, this is kind of a safety measure that really should never be needed, which I guess is kind of the point of all safety measures. Because this is something that really shouldn't be an issue when you're once all the systems are in place. It's only an issue now because I'm currently putting the systems in place. Okay, see, yeah, that's weird. Nice. It's a little slow, but nice. Else. Okay, yeah, that is that really 1 second? One. That seems like it's 2 seconds. Did I make it 2? That's totally 1 second. Why on earth is that taking so long? Hold on here. Divided by expand duration, which is 1. It's 1. It should not take longer than 1 second. Like, I'm pretty sure that that's 2 seconds. Let me check. So, well, hold on, wait. I think that's 1 second about. So 1, 2, yeah, that's about 2 seconds. Why on earth would it take 2 seconds? Because if I'm dividing by 1, then it should still take 1 second. Interesting. Well, I guess I can go ahead and tweak these things. My goodness, I'll get there eventually. Let's see, flavor text field. Let's go ahead and shorten that to 0.5. Sorry. That's super weird seeing them expand like that. Huh. Alright, fine. We'll make it 0.5, I guess, by default. Why I didn't actually enter any text there, I don't know. Because I'm silly, I guess. But let's go ahead and reload this. And we don't have... Let's see. Do we have other interactions that aren't being accounted for right now? It kind of seems like it. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back here real quick. Still, though, let's see, I'm trying to think. After we finish up with this, the only thing... What's left in custom games that's not there right now? So, saving and loading, I guess, would be the next big thing, but I'm probably going to hold off on that for a little bit. What else is there? Frankly, I don't actually know. We have items, we have interactions, we have... Oh, right, logic. Room logic. That's the next really big thing. That's the sort of thing that's probably not going to be done for a month or two. Let's go to create, Zork, start room. I want to make sure we don't get extra text. We don't. Okay, so there's our... I like that. I like the expanding. I think that really makes it feel better. So let's go ahead and say you see a door, a door to the north. Wait, seriously? Okay, hold on. I want to make sure that this wraps appropriately. There we go. Yeah, oh, it's disabled currently. We probably would want that to not be disabled. Let's go ahead and turn off maximize on play. And let's go ahead, come over here, come to our input field. Point size. Say you actually aren't doing anything. That's kind of funny. Line type is going to be multi-line, new line. There we go. That's better. Ooh, although that's a little awkward, isn't it? At least it's being masked. That's convenient. I was a little worried for a second there that I would have to add a mask to that. So, I mean, it'll get cut off, but that's not terrible, I guess. especially since you can just click on it to expand it. Multi-line, new line. We'll probably do multi-line submit. Otherwise, whenever you hit enter, if it was multi-line new line, whenever you hit enter, it would actually do a new line character, and then you would keep typing. But we don't actually want that. Okay, so you see a door to the north, and then about an item rests on the floor. Same thing. Let's go ahead and close. Now I'm going to open this back up. I was wondering about that. So yeah, if I close while it's open, it's going to close the next time it's opened, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and close this. I'm going to stop playing. We're going to take a look at our script or our save file. Nice. We have item descriptions. So now the trick here is we need to set up custom rooms so that instead of listing interactions at the end, it will only list interactions that aren't supposed to be there, but also ones that are supposed to be there but have been picked up and then redropped in the room. So we need to keep track of what objects have been picked up in the room, or rather, if an object has been picked up from a room. Okay. So that's going to be digging a little bit into the save system for this, but it should work overall. So let's go ahead and let's go to custom game session. I want this, and we are going to want, what is it, initialize current room, or there's a function, here it is, initialize current room. Okay. Current room name, otherwise. Okay. So with this, we actually need to, we don't want to just output our room name and our description. We now want to also output all of those flavor texts. And that means we're going to have some super fun here. Let's see here. I don't really want to initialize a variable unless I have to. It probably is fine to do that. String builder. Oh, look at that. I'm not doing that. Well, I'm going to do that now. All the way up here, we're going to say using system.text. Let's get back down here. Okay, so we're going to say string builder. Flavor text is going to be equal to new string builder. And I suppose we'll go ahead and say plus. Oh, that's kind of awkward, but it's fine, I guess. Plus flavor text dot to string. Okay, so this is actually going to start with a space. I know that sounds weird, but it's because it's going to be following a sentence, so we need to have a space after the previous sentence's period. Okay, so from there, we're going to go ahead and say for int I equals 0, I is less than current room dot, it's an int, isn't it? Of course it is. Oh, good, I can just use info. Info dot flavor text dot count I plus plus. Okay. Right. Let me think. I should already have up here a list of active interactions. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's the thing that I added. So get room active interactions if blah 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 contains key ID. It's gonna add it. New list, add range, get room interaction. That's not. So that's not quite what I want. Oh boy, that means that I need to do this instead. Um, so this active interactions, these are the objects currently in every room, regardless of if they're there by default. I needed that because the interactions here, that's every interaction across the entire game, and it doesn't give you useful information. So active interactions specifically tells you which interactions are in each room. So now I have to do pretty much the same thing as this, except in reverse. So it's going to be another dictionary of ints and lists of ints, except this is going to be called um, moved interactions. Wow, that's a terrible name. That seems to be the theme of the day. Uh, Basically, this is a list of all of the interactions that actually they're not even interactions. I should call these items. Moved items. So these are the items that you have picked up from their original positions. So I need to keep track of those. That way, I don't list them when I list all of the interactions in the scene, and that I do list them when you go back to that. Oh boy, that is super awkward. Okay. Um, wait. Time out. Do I? No. I was gonna say, do I need the active interactions anymore? Because, uh, well, point is that I do need them still. I need to keep track of the items as they move around. So instead, it's easier to, I think, subtract from the list of interactions that have been moved. So let's go ahead and, oh boy, this is gonna get super awkward. So we're gonna have another public list int get room moved items int id. Okay, we're pretty much going to do the exact same thing that this did. So this is going to be moved items dot contains key moved items. Let's see, interactions dot count is greater. This actually is not going to have a thing populated for it. It's just going to initialize the list. That's all we care about. Okay. And that is all that should need. So we're going to go back. So initialize current room. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to get awkward. How do I want to structure this? So I basically don't want to list flavor text for an item that has been moved at all. If it's been picked up by the player, it doesn't get listed anymore in the flavor text for the room. Even if you redrop it back in the room, it's going to say you see this object instead. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to be the way I want to structure this loop. Instead, it's jeez. Jeez, no friggin' way. I'm gonna have to do a for loop in a for loop, aren't I? Yep. All right, fair enough. Let's go ahead and say list int moved items is equal to get moved. What? Yeah, get room moved items. Current room. All right, and then we're gonna have a for loop in here that says for int j equals 0. J is less than moved items dot count j plus plus. Oh, geez. Except I don't want to just do that. Ay. Gross. I'm trying to think of a way that won't make this have redundant code, but I don't know if I can. Because I was just going to basically have a check inside of this for loop, but if I don't have any moved items, then nothing would ever happen anyway. So that's not okay. Right. Right. I really don't want to have a go-to either. Ugh. Or bool. But I suppose I could do that. So I could do this. Bool skip flavor text is equal to false. Place, I guess. False. Skip flavor text is equal to false. We'll say if skip flavor text. Well, actually, if not skip flavor text, then we're going to go ahead and say flavor text dot append info dot interactions flavor text of I. Okay, and then up here we're going to go ahead and say if if moved items of J is equal to I, then we are going to say, we're going to break out of this loop and we're going to say skip flavor text is equal to true. I think that should do it. So the next part is going to be listing, or, well, setting an item to have been moved when you pick it up. So let's see, get active room, get move in direction, output, receive input, quick input, confirm room names, room ID, room backgrounds, load background images. God, this class is getting to be too big. But it doesn't really make sense to break it up into anything else. Let's go ahead and go back up here, clean up current room. That's not good enough. Let's go up here. Here we are. On item obtained, go to definition, get room active interactions. Okay. So we're going to say get room moved items current room dot remove. Oh wait, no dot. Right. Crud. Right. Yeah, that's that won't work. That will not work. Will it? Okay. So I need a way of retrieving the active index of it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. So we got to do a list check here this entire time. List int moved items. I really don't like doing this every single time, but I guess I'm going to need to. Is equal to get moved items current room. Okay. And jeez, this is messy. So then I need to say if moved items dot contains. We got to do this in reverse, don't we? Get item. I'm sorry. Get interaction ID from the item. Except that's not how I was doing it. I was doing it based off of item or index, wasn't I? Okay, that's not good. Let's go back up here and go up to here. Yeah, sorry if this is gonna be a little bit of nebulous coding right now because I'm trying to keep everything in my head. So we don't actually want it to be equal to I. Instead, I want it to be equal to info.interactions of I. So the actual ID for the object. That makes things a lot easier. So I can get the ID from this. So if it doesn't contain that, in which case, actually, you know, I'm going to go ahead and say item ID is equal to this. So if it, oh, are you kidding me? Item ID. There. Let's see. So we want this here. So if it doesn't contain this, then we need to set it to do so. And we're going to go ahead and say, in that case, moved items dot add item ID. Now I don't remember if that gives me a copy or if that gives me an actual editable version of the list. So I'm going to leave it like this and hope that it works the way I expect it to. Okay. So this is where things get super awkward. Let's test it. I think that's going to do everything that I want it to do. Like 50% sure that it will. 50-ish percent. Okay. Let's let that compile. While that's happening, I'm going to take a drink. And Shazam. I'm willing to bet things break horribly. 10 to 1. 10 to 1 odds that they break horribly. Start. Oh, I guess I could probably maximize on play. Alright, extras, author mode, create, Zork. Okay. Oh, crap. I forgot to put a space between all of my item listings. But at the very least it does list them now. So let's go ahead and take item. Okay, so now... Crap! That won't do anything. I have no way of checking that, do I? Right. That won't work. That will not work. I have no way of double checking that. I can't force it to redo the output. Okay. What to do now? Well, first thing is we need to make sure we get a space in there between each of our appending. Let's go ahead and go back up here to here. Yes. Let's see. So we append, and then we're going to go ahead and just add. Oh, you know what? Actually, that will. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and just do this. We'll just append a space before each one that gets added. That should solve the problem. That means I also don't have to start with the space. Right. So we also need to make sure that we don't list objects in the UC unless they've been dropped. And only items, I guess. Crap. Oh man, this gets all kinds of weird. So let's go ahead and say moved items dot clear. Same thing here. Moved items dot clear. What else needs to happen there? Right. So for jeez. This gets super complicated. Active interactions is still needed, but it's not really what I should use to display things anymore. Instead, jeez. I think I should only display things in active interactions if they have an actual item ID that matches the moved items. Yes. No. I'm a little worried because the way I'm handling my code right now, I'm just assuming that you won't ever have two of the same item, like two of the same object at all. Um, which is antithetical to what I was talking about at the very beginning of the stream of having flavor text per item. That way you could have the same object, multiple objects of the same parent object in the scene. Yeah. How do we want to handle this? That really is not good. Okay. Um, man, I did not. I don't know what to do here. Yeah, it's not easy. It is. This is the fun parts of custom game development, where it's like, well, it's not nearly as easy when you're trying to anticipate what all of your players are going to want to do when it comes to making their own games. It's like designing a game designer. Jeez. What can I do here? Okay, so I need to display flavor text, which does happen right now. But I don't want to display interactions unless they're from other rooms or or unless they're items that have been dropped in the room, essentially. That's the only time I want to list the UC crap. And I need to anticipate multiple objects of the same ID in the same room. Okay. In that case, I actually have to refactor how I'm doing this. I do have to make this based off of index. That's not good. Okay. Wow, that's really not good. I have no way of associating index order with item IDs. I have no way of doing that. Um, yes, I'm currently at the same point. Yeah, like, I guess that's right. If you're doing runtime editing, yeah, it it's a whole other beast. Jeez. Because I know how to do everything, like how to set everything up. It's just I don't know the appropriate path, like how to. The design side of it is what's getting me. The technical side is fairly simple. It's just trying to figure out how to put them all together. Um, so moved items those have to be based off of index, and I have to anticipate multiples of the same object in the scene in the same room, which means that I can't really use item IDs or object IDs. Instead, I have to use their indexes. Oh boy. Uh, what to do about this? I honestly don't know. Uh, well, I do know something that I have to do to test this anyway. Um, I'm going to go into a room and look around, and that will throw a null reference exception, and I'll have to figure out how to handle that. Okay, so we're going to extras, author mode, create, Zork. Let's go ahead and test the game. So I'm going to, if I type look, oh crap. Look room. There we go. So that breaks things because it's looking for an environmental object. Right. gotta stack trace this. Let's see, interactive object, verb, interactive object, 357. Hold on. So I want to look for environment object, which doesn't exist in the scene, which is difficult to believe considering how it didn't throw a null reference when trying to reference the object. It threw a null reference here. Uh-oh. What to do about this? Where are you referenced? You're not. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay. Let's go to get room description. Description. That is clearly not what we want. Find all references. Output result from parser. Oh, it's from a parser directly. That's interesting. Let's see. Examining row. Okay. Wait, what? If output senses dot verb is not equal to null, verb to cache verb is not equal to null. Well, this is all kinds of crazy. Hello, Garrett. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Let's see. Jeez. What is up with this? I'm pretty sure that this isn't our problem. Our problem is here. We're getting a null reference here, but why on earth are we getting to an environment object interaction even though there's no environment object in the freaking scene? I don't understand how that happens. That's very strange to me. I don't believe you, Unity. How can there not be one in the freaking scene? How? I ask you, how can there not be one? Did I spell it wrong? Environment object. How is that not in the scene? We don't have a null reference when we're trying to refer to it. Okay. Custom game. Does it get added to the... Wait, what? No, it just gets... Madness. Madness. That's all this is madness. Stop playing. There we go. Doing well. Got doors working on my game yesterday. Nice. Doors suck. I hate them. They're one of my least favorite parts of game development. How am I? Well, I was doing fairly well, except now we're running into a bit of a roadblock in trying to handle picking up objects. Well, it's not actually handling picking up objects, it's handling item descriptions in rooms. And trying to come up with a way for them to be listed. So part of doing that is we need to make it so that when you look at a room, it actually looks at the room in the custom game and not the room in the main game. That's going on in the background, technically. Jeez, I just don't know what to do there. So we receive input, we go through cheats, we go through multiple sentences, we go through our check phrase, we go to our sentence, we go to our interactive object check verb, and that's at interactive object 357. active object. Scroll all the way down to 357. My god, my classes are getting way too big. Do verb. Wait. Okay, so we do verb, but then that goes to environment object. But where's the environment object coming from? It just pops up out of nowhere. Something is an environment object. Somewhere. I just don't know what. Hold on. Environment object. Seriously? Are you not searching correctly? Because there totally should be a... Well, that's interesting. Did they change it so that T colon? No, okay, then why weren't you showing? What the heck? This is annoying. Very, very, very annoying. Oh, let's go ahead and close some of this real quick. What to do about this? Well, kind of a bit of an impasse here. It's very annoying. Well, while I'm doing this, so how do doors work in your game, Garrett? You mean doors as in transitions using doors, or doors as in just opening and closing doors? Okay. So we do have the flavor text functioning, but now we need a way to figure this part out. And I need a way to re-examine the friggin' room. Can I still do cheats, I wonder? Hold on. I always forget what my... Nope, that's not right. Hold on. Dictionary. I always forget what my cheat code is for... Let's see, stats, parser debug. Okay. Okay. So let's look at room. That should throw another null reference, but now we should have deep debugging. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Probably could have debugged robustly. That would have helped a little bit. So we get through all of the parsing. So it actually seems to parse through everything correctly. That's when it breaks, though. So we get start sentence output 0, look room, and from here we must be getting. But we don't get to here, which means that it's not that, but we do get to here. Okay, so let's go to sentences validated. We didn't get this, which means that it wasn't that, which means that we drill down to here. Direct objects.count is equal to 0. Okay. Then while direct objects.count is equal to 0, we're going to look at it. Let's see if j is equal to object output sentences.count. Sentences divide direct object. Okay, so that should never happen. Then this should never happen as well, which means that it should get to here, but we don't get to that. There's no. We just get a null reference somewhere in parser immediately after that. That's so weird. Let's see. Doors is an open close. So there's a model of the door made up of lots of pieces and a model of the hinges. So I go to the door to properly rotate on the hinges, which is offset from the door model. I animate with between and manage to state. And manage state with a tiny script because I don't really don't like mechanim for that stuff. That's fair. Minor hassle to get the object hierarchy set up correctly so the model doesn't skew when rotated. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that I hate working in non-power 1 scale. It makes things so messy whenever you try to do stuff. So I've always found it's best to have a non-scaled parent that everything else gets parented to and then scaled, because then they have their own scales that they're maintaining. But I guess if you're doing all that anyway, um, I do not know what's going on here. It's so it has to get to here, I think, which means that our direct objects is not set to nothing. Let's see, set direct objects. While direct objects count is equal to 0, if J output sentences that should never happen. Which means that it must be going to here, which must mean that it's outputting from there. Which I guess actually, now that I think about it, I could just look at when this gets parsed through. So we have environmental object, interactive object, parser 610. Boom! I called it! Somewhere in here. And that's where we go wrong. Huh. Okay, I would like it to tell me what its freaking name is, I suppose. Let's go ahead and say if debug.log outputting result for this name, I guess. That seems as good a test as any, so now that should give us an actual name of the object. And you know what, actually, for this I'm also going to go ahead and say plus. So in parentheses we're going to have the actual object's name, so we're going to say this dot j dot name. There we go. Let's go ahead and let that compile. I'm using asset bundles or asset models for everything, so I have to tweak it all. Wait, asset models is in asset or models sold on the asset store? And they're scaled? Ah! Asset store artists. Why are you so terrible? I never understand that. There are so many assets on the asset store that are art packs, and the art is just it's a nightmare to look at. They don't have any. They have scaling or. Oh, okay. Well, that's tolerable. That's tolerable, man. My rant is not invalidated by that, but it is. But that's better to hear at least. Go ahead, go to author mode, create Zork, because that actually is a huge problem on the asset store. Let's go to test game. Look room. Oh, wait, hold on. SOS parser debug. Okay, let's go to look room. Okay, so we have our new one. Environment. Well. What are... Okay, fine. What are you How? No, you lie. I don't believe it. Look at this. Okay, so room, that's the name of our that's the name of the thing that it's looking at. And environment is the name, the actual game object name of it. And yet it's what? It's not in the scene. How? How is it not in the scene? Ah. But I don't know 3D modeling. No, wait, but I'm getting from many different devs, so nothing is. What the heck? Did I just get signed out of Twitch? What the heck happened there? That's weird. Yeah, Twitch just signed me out. Okay, that's awkward. Um, maybe my next game should be text-based. Yeah, I don't know if that'll save you from 3D modeling, in my case at least. Um, this is interesting. Where in the world? No, hold on. Is there something like under global or something that's doing this? This is so baffling. How on earth? How does this function like this? Maybe I needed to say .gameObject.name. Oh, jeez. I wonder if I could. Does GameObject have like a path? No, that would have been nice. I was gonna say it'd be really nice if I could get like the path to the game object in the scene. That would have been much easier. But I'm so confused. How is there something called environment in the scene that's got a name called room and it somehow is not searchable? What the frig? Like it just I don't know what to do there. It's clearly not doing what I would expect it to do. I don't really know what would do this. Where does it come from? Prefab? Well, that's what I'm trying to find. So it's throwing a null reference exception here on this line. But the problem is that I'm trying to find an environment object in the scene and I can't find one. But it's clearly getting piped through here somewhere. So I don't even know. I mean, I guess I could look. I don't even think I have. Yeah. I don't even have something like that in assets. Well, I do have this. Ah, okay. That would do it. That would do it. Okay. Okay. I got you. So it was a prefab. Thank you, Garrett. I would not have thought of that for a while. If ever. So, okay. That's weird. I thought I instantiated those, but I guess I don't. Um, hmm. Okay, so that gives me a little bit more of an idea of what's happening here. But now I have to think about global interactions, don't I? Because I have this. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Yep, 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 yep. Goody, 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 goody. Yay. Yeah, this is something that I was worried I would have to do anyway. So, good. So, we're going to change this. Well, we're not going to change this. We're going to keep this. Instead, we're going to go ahead and duplicate this. So I need to set it so that the global interactions that are set are not from the base game, instead are set from the custom game. So let's see, content creation, data, let's go ahead and move this up to here. Global interactions, we're going to reduce that down to just environment, which for now will only be that. Okay, so we need to duplicate environment, I'm going to say, and let's go up here. Let's go to, wait, what the heck? What is going on here? Oh, wait, what? Hold on. Okay, whatever. add folder interactions. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. Be back in a bit. Gotta go do world stuff for a minute. Alright, see you when you get back. Let's go ahead and move this up to here. Okay, so we have environment. Actually, we'll call this room. And let's see. So we are going to ignore in groups. That's all fine, I think. And all it has is examine. We don't care about anything else. Okay. So from here, oh dear. We're just going to go ahead and make a custom game environment object, I guess. Wow, this is starting to spiral pretty bad. Content creation, game logic, rooms. Do I do anything with this? Do I do anything with this? It's all info nowadays. Custom game, room. No, I don't really do anything with this, but it was kind of being used, so I'm going to leave it alone for now. Let's go ahead and add a new C# script. We'll call this room object, room interaction. All right, let's go ahead and open that up. Reload all. Okay, so we're going to call this text quest. Room interaction is going to derive from interactive object. It's going to override do verb. Let's go ahead and go back up here. Pretty much going to just copy this, paste it over here. So instead of doing level manager, we are going to say global.get custom game session dot correct. Okay, get. Hold on. Current. Are you serious? I don't have a way of. Wait. Hold on. Seriously? I don't have a way of getting the current room? Why? Well, time to add that. It's probably because I was doing everything manually here anyway. Let's see. Image path, room count, variables, is starting room, is end room. Oh, wait, no, up here. Here we are. Public int current room. Get return current room. Are you... Okay, I was going to say. Let's go ahead and save that. Come back here. Current room. Oh, boy. Yep. We're actually going to go ahead and also add a thing for public room info. Current room info. Get return. Get room. Current room. Okay, simple as that. Let's go ahead and go back up here. So I'm going to say current room info. Ah, piece of crap. That won't work. Dang it. Okay. I was gonna like add a function to the to room info to generate its outputs, but that won't actually work. I need to get the description for the current room. Ugh, jeez. Yeah, all right. Back to the custom game session, which means that this is kind of less useful than it really is. So let's go ahead and get rid of it. We're going to come all the way down here. So we have initialize current room. Let's see, room names, get room. Okay, so here we are. We'll go ahead and say public string get room description int ID. Yeah. This is where it gets super fun. So let's go up to here. Custom game session, which is, what the heck? Where's my initialize? There it is. Clean up current room. Let's see. Initialize current room. All right, so I'm going to take all of this. Like, all of it. And say get room description current room. Okay, so we're going to go back down here. Going to paste that. So this is no longer going to be flavor text. It's going to be called... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Hold on. Room info is equal to get room ID. Okay, we're going to rename flavor text to be description. Okay. That's going to be info.description. We're going to return at the end here description.toString. Okay, we're on the right track now. And now we can go back here and say, get room description global.get custom game session dot current room. Hey, so much effort. Let's go ahead and get rid of you. Save this. Let's go back to custom game session. So this should appropriately give us the description for the room. And on top of that, we're going to need to handle this a little bit better. For now, I'm going to just test this out. So we'll let this compile. And we need to go to global, actually. Let's see, custom parser commands. Let's see, level description, database, global interactions. We're going to go ahead and copy this and say custom game interactions. Find all references. Okay. Do we do it with this then? Find all references. We do. Okay. Let's see. Command check equals game logic, game session, parser. Okay, good. Oh, good. So we're gonna go ahead and say parser dot global interactions. Oh, wait, what? Timeout. Find all references here. No. That's command checks. There we go. Find all references. Global interactions. Okay. I guess we'll just make this a set. Set. No, that's fine. Global interactions is equal to value. Oh, crap! Dang it! Alright, that won't work. So instead, we're going to go ahead and say set interactive objects. Let's go ahead and go up here to public static void set global interactions. Global interactions. Global interactions. Oh, hold on. Global interactions is equal to global interactions. Yep. Wow, really? There we go. Simple as that. So now we can go back here and say parser.set global interactions, global interactions. We gotta go back here, of course. Let's go ahead and copy this, paste that. So this will be custom. Wow, that is not what I wanted to do. Custom game interactions. Custom game interactions. Let's go ahead and go back to our custom game session. Copy this. Paste this here. This is going to be custom game interactions. Okay, I think that's pretty much all we need to do. And it should work now once I assign that field. Once it compiles, of course. Jeez. Crazy. There it is. Go ahead and drag this in here. Let's go ahead and drag our room into there. And that should pretty much be it. So, time to give this a test. So now I should be able to actually look at the room in custom games, and it should give you the appropriate output. So start, extras, author mode, create, Zork. Let's go to test game. Okay. Look room. No. No. Wait. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. You didn't update. What the frig? No. That doesn't make sense. You went back to the wrong one. Well, let's go ahead and close these because we know that they're happening. Oh, duh. It's because I didn't reassign the type of object that it is. It's still a room, or it's still an environment object. It needs to be a room object. Oop. Love it when I do that. Let's see. We can close global. Really should have renamed that to like game manager or something. Okay, let's go ahead. There it is. Yep. We're going to go ahead and remove that, and we will add the room interaction back to it, which means that we do need to reassign that here. Okay, let's give that a shot now. Oh, I guess I should go ahead and do that. So we're going to say room. Oh, crap. What were my things here? So room, area, and interior. Area. Interior. We'll go ahead and say environment as well. So rooms, areas. No adjectives, no burn info. Oh, right. We do need to add a verb, though. Verb for examine. Success effects, text only, output type is going to be default. Let's see, output ID, we don't care about. Toggle outputs, set that to 1. And I think that's all I really need to do in the debug view, so now I should be able to open. Yep. Should be good. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's try this out again. It should now work, as would be expected. All right, so let's go ahead and say start, extras, create Zork, test game. Wait, really? We have a null reference already? Where did that come from? What? Oh, it's because I don't have clear on play. When did that happen? Okay, never mind. That was just left over. Okay. So look room. Yes. Okay. We do also need to move the UC stuff into the look room or into the description. Yes, got it. Okay. So we got that fixed. Now, the next thing we want to do is set it up so let's try taking an item. Yes. So that works. Haha. Um, so, trying to think, what else could we do? Because there are a couple of things that we can do, but I really need to figure out how to design this stuff. Jeez, the actual design is kind of starting to become more and more difficult. Trying to anticipate how players are going to use this stuff and trying to code for that. Um, well, we might call that a night, just because I think the next couple of things that we're gonna do are gonna be not uninteresting, but I need to figure out how to do them. Like I need to know what my approach is gonna be. And I don't know what that's gonna be right now. Huh. Well, I mean, I think that's a pretty good place to stop, though, because we have actual descriptions being made, so we can go ahead and go to our rooms. We have. Oh, you know what? That's kind of something I want to test real quick. Let's add a bunch of interact. Oh crap, that won't work. No, that'll work. Let's add an existing interaction to test that. Oh, okay, that was weird. Nothing happened for a little bit, and I was a little frightened. Let's add an existing interaction. We'll add the axe. Add an existing interaction. Add the belt. Existing interaction, and we're out of interaction. So let's go ahead and cancel that. Go ahead and add some new interactions. Let's delete this. Let's see. What do I want to call it? We'll say sword. Sharp will be our adjective. It's going to be an item. A sharp sword. Okay, that's pretty much all we care about. Let's go ahead and do add to inventory. Taken. Welcome back, Garrett. We have solved that problem with your expert advice, of course. So now we can actually look at things, or we can look at the environment. And now I'm currently testing something to basically make sure that when we scroll on one side of this, it scrolls on both sides. So let's go ahead and add a new interaction. Get rid of you. Map. That seems like a good one. Say old for an adjective. I don't know why I'm adding adjectives. I don't really need them. A large map. Exclamation point. Because why not? That's good for now. I don't really care about anything else. Okay. Hooray! Look at that. So we have them scrolling in synchronicity at the same time. So now if I scroll on one, it'll scroll on both. Oh, that's nice. Oh, wait. Oh, I can't. What? That's interesting. I can't scroll over here like I can. Oh, I can do that, but um, oh crap! Do those not line up anymore? Oh, they don't. Okay, now they do. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Um, oh, that's super awkward. When it expands, it gets kind of yeah wonky. Don't know what to do about that. Uh, but okay, so we have that working. Let's go ahead and delete these things. Make sure that they get okay. They do get cleaned up properly. That's good. Nice, nice, nice. Cool. So all of that works. That is exciting. Let's go ahead and close out of this, and we can go ahead and play. Oh, that needs to get fixed. Okay, but we can't actually look at our room. And you can see that you're standing in a rustic living room. You see a door to the north. An item rests on the floor. If we take item. Wow, really? Interesting. Wait, there's a sword. Oh dear. What has happened here? Something terrible has happened. Something really, really terrible has happened here. What? What the heck happened? How did those interact? What? Look at that. 13 and 15. That's correct. What? Timeout, timeout, timeout. What is happening here? Let's look for 15. Find next. It's our variable. We don't care about that. Type item, name sword. What? Oh, wait, hold on. Nope, that was it. There was a sword, and then... No, it's just sword. Wow, what happened there? It seems like, we need to propagate scroll wheel message up to the parent. I've seen that issue before. No, I think the scrolling issue was because the when you select a flavor text field, it expands, and I think that offset in the scroll area is what makes it kind of weird. It's not a huge issue, so. Um, yeah, well, I'm legitimately baffled here because it seems like I overwrote an item. I don't even know how that happened. Like that cannot physically, that should not be possible. But here we are. It says sword in my names, and did I accidentally do it to my original? No, because somehow what the frig happened? Here, hold on. Let's look for door. That will prove it. Oh no way! It totally blew away my changes. There's only one reference to the word door. Wow! What happened there? All kinds of crazy. That should not be possible. Let's go to interactions. I'm going to add an interaction from existing interactions. Holy crap! Yeah, you can see there are two swords here, which means that it ate, the sword ate my item, and the map ate my door. What happened? Time out, time out, time out. How many swords do I have in here? I have one, two. That is so weird. Huh. Okay. So that's super awkward. I don't know what happened there. So I can change this to door. Sturdy door. Leave that as it is. Let's go ahead and change this. Let's go back to item. Test item. Let's get rid of an adjective for it, and then we'll close out. Okay, let's go ahead and come back here, save. 15. So their IDs persisted, just to make sure also. Let's look for door. Okay, so 11. No freaking way. Yeah, look at that. So if I look for a sturdy door, there are 2 instances of it. Those items are overwriting each other for some reason. Hooray! So now if we try to add interaction, I'm willing to bet that it's going to say there are 2 doors and 2 items. 2 doors and 2 items. What is going on there? Huh, okay, something got borked here. I don't know what. That's not good. It should be impossible for it to edit 2 separate items at once. But maybe they're... I have an idea. Let's go ahead and go back here. I'm thinking that the IDs on these buttons are messed up. Would you freaking select it? There. So if we go to room interaction and room interaction, I'm guessing you're not going to tell me much. Yeah, because I'm not actually doing anything here. It's all done via the menu. So let's open this up. I must have done something really stupid here. So we get on click, add listener, ID, current room, interactions of I. I mean, we declare that as is. What about index? Are we using you anyway? We are. What interaction deleted? Okay. So on interaction click, go to definition. That opens up the ID. See, that's what's so weird. Is it's like the ID is being shared somehow, but that can't be right because they do have their own unique IDs. Something else must be happening. Some kind of object reference error, maybe? Like they're getting lumped in together? That doesn't make sense. Well, I don't really know what to do here. Target object. See, so we get interaction based off of an ID, but that's the thing, is it's a dictionary of an int ID for keys and a single interactive object for its value. So how can I edit multiple ones? That doesn't make sense to me. Something else has to be happening. I don't know what, though. That's really weird to me. Well, Huh. See, now I kind of wonder if I delete one of those items, does it delete the others as well? Because that would make sense to me if that were the case. Maybe the text files are getting way too crazy. I guess we're already up to 3,000 lines. That's with only a handful of items in there. Yeah, that's really weird. And it's even more strange just because the IDs are correct. The IDs didn't change, and the flavor text was correct. It didn't change. It's just, for some reason, those objects got overridden. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna just make a to-do here, and we'll pick that up later because I think it's a pretty good place to stop before I get down that rabbit hole. Really, I will go ahead and add a to-do here to be editing multiple interactions for some reason. So, yeah. As far as today goes, I mean, we got a lot done. We got item descriptions, so when you go into a room, you can have special bits of text added to the end of the room's description. We fixed that really annoying bug that prevented us from looking at the room. Thank you very much, Garrett, for pointing out that it could have been a prefab. And we have somewhat of an interface for flavor text editing for each item. And we've started down the road of getting those things to actually play nice with each other, although I feel like that's going to take a little bit more time. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the night. Announcements. Nothing really crazy. So, we should be back at our regular time on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time next week. And, yeah, I will see you all then. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.